My name's Mike Mueller. Originally, I'm from the DC area. Moved to Memphis for high school and then stayed here for college. I'll be a senior studying journalism. I do print with the paper, and then I work at the radio station on campus as well.
I'm Amy Barnett. I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. I moved here in 2002. I'm going to be a senior at U of M, journalism major, print newspaper concentration.
I waste a lot of time on Facebook and other lots of things, I guess. I think news sometimes gets pushed to the side because there's these other things out there. I think if my homepage was Facebook instead of it being, right now it's the commercial appeal, I don't know if I'd make it back to commercial appeal in whatever allotted amount of time I have.
I have a loyalty to the print version, but I don't at all in reality. It's like a romanticized notion that it would be neater. Kind of like with vinyl. Like I collect vinyl and I love it and I try to play it sometimes, but I mean most of the time I don't do that. I put it on my computer, I put it on my iPod, I put it on a CD. I mean, you know, there are a lot of notions tied to it that we talk about but we don't actually follow through on.
When the hard copy of something is available to me, readily available,
yeah,
that's what I go for. But if it's not, then it was all online. So I think that's one thing I noticed was that if I have it in front of me and I can get to it, I'm going to pick up the physical thing rather than go online. But I'm not going to like work to get the physical thing. I'm not going to go out and pay 75 cents or however much to get a paper. And
very little of it is print. The only thing that I consistently read in print is commercial appeal, and that's because I have access to it here. If I'm not working here, it's not nearly as often that I'll actually go get a copy of it. I will sometimes, but most of the time it's either incidental because there's one, you know, sitting at somewhere else, or I read it online. Sometimes it's just, you know, like a, you know, boredom, I guess. Not, you know, just, well, let me see what's going on there. Honestly, usually if I am looking for information on some sort of breaking news, I don't always go directly to a newspaper. Sometimes I will check with the Associated Press first, most often on my phone. I have an AP app, and so sometimes I look on there, and also a lot of times I'll get AP alerts, and I don't really like watching the local TV news. I don't know, I just don't like it. I don't use their websites just because I feel like what they do is better in the format that it is.
There's so much talk about the paper dying, but I think maybe even local TV, there's a change going on there because I honestly can't remember the last time I watched a local TV news. And then with Facebook and Twitter and stuff, you know, there's you know, stuff leaks out, say this is happening, and then that'll lead you to go find out about it before the news team puts together their thing at 5 o'clock. My phone's not smart, so it was always online. But be it, I mean, but the online was both here, you know, in the office, and it was at home on my laptop. And if there was another situation where I was around a computer, it was always computer.
I mean, I still use my computer at home and at work plenty, but anytime I'm just anywhere, even if I'm just like, you know, sitting on my couch at home or riding in the car with someone or wherever, if a question comes up, whether it's, you know, current events related or just sort of random, I will pull out my phone and use one app or another to find it out. And a lot of times if I'm looking for information on current news and I don't already happen to know where it's going to be for sure, I'll end up Googling or doing something else to find it, and that may take me to a newspaper site, but it's, you know, it's not, well, something happened in Colorado, let me find the Colorado newspaper's website. I usually have on my browser on my iPhone, I'll have the the mobile commercial appeal page open at most times because there's not an app yet. Well, there's the garage sale app, but there's not a commercial appeal app, which I've been sort of anticipating for a while. Because I would, if it were set up the same way as the AP one, I would use it all the time. More often that I'll find things through searches or other outside means. Sometimes that's Facebook. You know, sometimes you'll see something just that someone posts out of curiosity or rage or whatever, post a news article.
Because when you're on Facebook, I think you're bored. And so you're just looking to find something to do. And then so I'm more prone to just click on something. I have to be like, what is that? I click, and this took me to this blog. So, and that also with me takes me a lot to online content like video and stuff. I don't go out and search for it, but a lot of people will post and repost content like that, and take me to YouTube or a site, a news site with a video on it.
I don't follow any specific news organizations on Facebook because you get overloaded. It's kind of being thrown at you, and sometimes it can be helpful and you'll find things that you want, but when you have like people whose Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds and everything they're all posting at the same time, sometimes, at least for me, and I may be different than other people my age, it's kind of a turn off.
I would also maybe invest in like an iPad or one of those things, because I think that's a way, I think that's kind of having that thing, because I don't personally, and I think this might be weird for someone my age, I don't like reading online as much as I do reading something in my hand, which is why if I have something at hand that I can read, I'll read it instead of going online to get the same content. Maybe that's where the future is going, where we won't have the hard copy, but you'll have this thing with you, and maybe that's where the paper will be downloaded or something. Just looking into the future, I don't know.
I don't do Kindle. If I had an iPad and and there was, whatever newspaper you pay, if it were, under $10 a month or whatever, I would probably pay for at least a couple of things to have access to them.
If there was a way to personalize get it to more just focus on what I want to read, you just have to listen and be aware of what people want, and maybe if there's a way that you could let them choose what they want, and then kind of custom tailor-make something to fit their needs or their wants.
I feel like having a more personalized layout as opposed to just a website where, like the commercial appeal website, which is plenty easy to use now as it is, but it's, it's the same as the one at the Knox News, and all the different Scopes papers have the same setup. I feel like losing the personalization and the fact that it's a Memphis paper, we have the skyline at the top of the page, and that's the only thing that looks different to me. Sometimes I kind of expect them to utilize the website in different ways that don't always happen. Sometimes they do, like our videos and stuff obviously aren't going to be in the newspaper, and then sometimes, something that has to get squished down for print just because there's not enough space. But, maybe there was 20 or 25 inches that they originally wanted to write, and it had to go down to 8. I think it would be cool if you could get that extended version every time as an option on the internet, because why not? It's the internet,
I think if there's a way that news sources can break into social media, maybe more so than they have, that might be because I think that's what a lot of people my age do, is they get on their social media site. When they get on, they don't even go to the news. I
mean, I look at different papers in all kinds of different ways, and I think most people that I know do that at least in some way, you know, maybe online, maybe on your phone, maybe in print. And I think that they're all valid in different ways.